It's the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
This episode is brought to you by HP Instant Ink. No one is reading your mind, but HP Instant Ink knows when your printer is running low and sends new cartridges before you run out. So you never have to think about ink. For details, visit hp.com/instant ink Spotify. Conditions apply.
You're Locked On Hurricanes, your daily podcast on the Carolina Hurricanes. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, hockey fans. I am Jared Ellis, and you're listening to Locked On Hurricanes on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And this episode is brought to you by Locker Room. Download the app and join me next week to get in on the action. Locker Room, changing the way we talk sports. And of course, as always, you can follow the show on Twitter at LO_Hurricanes, on Facebook at Locked On Hurricanes Podcast, and you can follow myself on Twitter at JaredEllis_96, and also on Locker Room at JaredEllis_96. And in today's episode, folks, we will be discussing last night's game against the Detroit Red Wings and what that means for the Hurricanes going forward, as well as just some big news coming out of the league today. Getting started with that big news. The Seattle Kraken are now an official NHL team, and they can begin to make moves. They paid their final installment to become a team today, so they are officially part of the NHL. So that's great for them. We officially have 32 teams now. And it's definitely going to be an interesting summer, that is for sure, to see what Ron Francis is going to do up there in Seattle, who he's going to take in the expansion draft, who he's going to trade for, what picks are going to be traded, because they're going to make a lot of moves. They got to get a team together, but it's definitely interesting to see what happens this summer. I'm definitely excited and also kind of scared because I don't want them to take my favorite players from the Hurricanes. But at the end of the day, it's definitely going to be a very, very fun summer. Congratulations to the Seattle Kraken and all their new fans and all the folks up in Seattle, because they're definitely looking forward to going to the Kraken games. I'm looking forward to seeing them on TV. I do feel maybe having to get a Hayden Fleury Kraken jersey. Maybe. We'll see. But now, folks, moving on into the game from last night. Last night's game was the final regular season game against the Detroit Red Wings for the Hurricanes. And it's no secret the Hurricanes have had a lot of issues with the Red Wings this season. So I was very cautious, going into this game because, I'm like, yes, the Hurricanes are an extremely talented team. They're in first place in the division and in the league for a reason. They are very, very good. But again, for whatever reason, they've had issues with Detroit this season. And I was kind of worried going in, like, okay, Detroit, this is the final game of the season, between these two teams. And with the Hurricanes being in first place, the Red Wings are going to want to make a statement. They got nothing to lose. So I was very worried about Detroit going into this game. And then, in the first period, the Hurricanes came out looking good, but definitely towards the back half of that period, especially in the last 5-7 minutes or so, Detroit really turned it up a notch. And I was definitely thinking Detroit may get on the board first, but thankfully James Reimer kept it tied up for us. He didn't necessarily have a whole lot of work to do last night, only facing 17 shots on goal. But he really kept us in it there in that first period because, had Detroit scored first, that could have been the thing that carried the momentum for them and could have gotten them the win instead of us. But Thankfully, come second period, things were able to turn around, and the Hurricanes started looking a lot better. And we will talk about how good they looked after this quick break, folks. This episode is brought to you by 1010, a capsule collection of diamond rings that are responsibly sourced limited edition designs at fair price points. 1010 is an exclusive collection of 10 creative styles of diamond rings designed by 10 of the most distinctive designers working today. Rings sure to bring joy into her life. Using only diamonds responsibly sourced from Botswana, 10 female design masters have each produced a uniquely beautiful ring, ideal for engagement, Mother's Day, or just simply a beautiful conversation piece. The perfect way to bring light into her life. They're available now through Mother's Day only on BlueNile.com. Just search the words 10 by 10. This collection features high-quality, fine jewelry that will surprise and delight, and fairly priced so you can give her something special and truly meaningful. If you're on the hunt for the perfect, unique ring she'll treasure forever, you're definitely going to want to check this out. They won't be around for long, so find them now by searching the words 10 by 10 only at BlueNile.com.
What's up, everybody? David Harrison here of the Locked On Washington Football Team podcast. I actually just retired from the Army, and while that was a very exciting moment in my life, it also meant uprooting my family one last time. And not only that, but we moved in the midst of COVID, so finding the place that we really wanted to live wasn't as easy as it usually would have been. So we actually have moved a second time, and of course, every time we've had to wonder, is all of our stuff going to fit with our new house? Did you know that people who live in cities move 6 to 8 times before they even hit their early 30s? That's why you've got to check out Feather. Feather is a furniture rental company designed for people who want to feel at home no matter how often they move. Furnishing one bedroom can cost upwards of $6,000, but with Feather, you can furnish a bedroom with high-quality, beautifully designed furniture for the cost of your monthly utility bill. Their delivery team brings furniture directly to your home in as little as 7 days. They handle all the heavy lifting so you can go from an empty apartment to a fully furnished home without lifting a finger or assembling anything. And it's not just furniture. They have rugs, lamps, wall art, and more. What if you move to a new place with a different layout? No problem. You can easily get furniture that works for any space. Plus, by renting from Feather, you're choosing a sustainable alternative to fast furniture that won't end up in landfills. I remember vividly having to take time off of work or away from family events or social events that I wanted to attend just to wait for several furniture deliveries coming at different times throughout the week, but you don't have to go through that anymore. Try a new way to furnish your home right now. Feather has an exclusive offer just for Locked On listeners. If you go to livefeather.com right now and use the promo code Locked On, you'll receive $300 off your first month. Again, that's livefeather.com and use our promo code Locked On for $300 off your first month.
Now, getting back into the Hurricanes, folks, the Hurricanes in the second period, they definitely looked a lot better than they did in the first. Again, in the first period, they definitely came out looking good at first, but Detroit really came back in that back half. But thankfully, in Brady Shea's return to the lineup, after being out a few games with concussion issues, he was able to get the Hurricanes on the board first, netting his first goal back in front of a raucous home crowd. So that's great for him. Again, like I mentioned, that could have been the difference maker there. Because like I said, talking about the first period, had James Reimer not been able to make some of the timely saves that he was making there in that first period, that could have given Detroit the momentum to win the game with as closely contested as these games have been this season. But then, Warren Fogle, ended up putting us up 2-0. He's having a monster month of April, and I really hope that can continue into May and the postseason, because you definitely need your best. You need your guys to be doing really, really well in the postseason, because at that point you lose 4 games, you're going home, and you want your guys to be stepping up to the plate, and he is right now, and I hope that can continue, because I really love this team, and I think they can make a really, really deep run this May and into June. So I really was enjoying his performance last night as well. But, on a slightly down note, Jacob Vrana was able to get the Red Wings on the board, late in the second period, and, at that point, I was kind of wondering, could James, get this shutout? He obviously didn't. The Red Wings scored that one goal. But, I was like, it's really late in the second. Could he do it? The team's playing really, really good in front of him. He's not having to face a whole lot of shots. And when he is, he's making the saves. But sadly, Vrana was able to get that rebound and get it past Reimer, which sucks. And at that point, I was getting a little worried. I'm like, oh man, the way the Red Wings have our number this season. And I was wondering, could they carry that momentum into the third period? So I was a little worried, but thankfully, in the third period, Teuvo Teravainen really came up big for the Hurricanes, notching his third goal of the season. Obviously, he had been out for 32 games due to concussion issues. He had also missed time before that due to COVID, so he's had a rough go of it this season, that's for sure. And to see him notch a goal, that was crazy, because he obviously isn't one to shoot the puck a whole lot. And he said that in postgame, the only reason he shot it is because there are no passing opportunities. But he's obviously able to get it past the Detroit goalie and give the Hurricanes that 3-1 lead. And with that goal there, in the assist on the Brady Shea goal, Teuvo deservedly got the first start of the game. It was great to see him have such a good game. In front of the home crowd. Like I said with Brady, and his goal, to do that in front of the home crowd after being out for so long, that was great for him, great for the fans. And the way, having him back in the lineup, has kind of re-energized the team. I think that's going to be big heading into May and the postseason. And then we still got other guys to come back. We just got Brady back. I think that's really going to help. I think he definitely brings a lot to the team. I think he showed that last night. I think we're definitely going to see that on Saturday as well against Columbus. But we still got other guys waiting to come back. You got Martinook and McGinn and Mrazek all waiting to come back from injuries. Rod Brind'Amour did say that these guys that have been out, they're not necessarily hurt. They just don't feel 100%, and they're wanting to make sure these guys are feeling 100% heading into the playoffs. So there's obviously no word on what's going on with these guys. If it is okay, they're still hurt, or they just don't feel at 100% yet, or what the deal is, we don't know. But at the end of the day, the Hurricanes are really, really stepping up right now, and that's fantastic. For the team heading into the postseason. This has been a crazy year for the Hurricanes. They've really stepped up and shown that they're ready to be a contender. They're won the season series against Florida. They won the season series against Tampa. And they just play these top level teams so good. So I'm really excited to see what they can do. I think it's their time. It is. And one thing with last night's game was also a big milestone game as well. I do believe I mentioned it on the episode yesterday, but that was Rod Brind'Amour's 200th career game as a head coach, Andrei Svechnikov's 200th career game, and then Brett Pesce's 400th career game. So the Hurricanes, just have such a strong foundation, and ever since Tom Dundon bought the team and took over, the Hurricanes have just really turned the corner, and it just shows what can happen when you have ownership that's committed to growing the team and making it a championship caliber team again. And it's fantastic as a fan because having the highest of highs, when them winning the Stanley Cup, and then some really bad lows as well. and just they're consistently good again, because that was an issue with the team before Dundon took over. Is they could be good. You saw that in 2001 and 2002. When they went to the Cup. 2006 when they won the Cup, and 2009 when they went to the conference final. But yet they do really good and then they fall off. Do really good, then fall off. And then obviously they fell off for a very long time, after that last conference finals in 2009. And then, they fell off the side of a cliff for a decade. But they were obviously able to come back. And they've done great things. And I'm really expecting them to continue to do great things because you definitely are seeing a changing of the guard in the NHL. A lot of the older teams are, starting to fall off a little bit. Obviously Washington's still good, Pittsburgh's still good. These teams they're not bad, by any means. They're obviously, just clinched, their postseason stuff, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But you're seeing teams like, the Hurricanes, the Panthers, the Avs, to an extent the Golden Knights, as well. Like these, younger teams, newer teams, are coming in and, making runs, not just being flashes in the pan, like teams have been in the past, kind of like Arizona when they went to the conference finals a few years ago, because they kind of dropped off after that. And just stuff like that. These teams are being consistently good. I think that's great for the league. It'll also be interesting to see what happens with Seattle this offseason. Are they going to have a Vegas-esque run? I don't think so. I know I've made jokes about the Vegas draft, in the past, but at the end of the day, I don't think it was. I think cards just kind of fell right in that sense. But it's nice to see some changes happening. And not just in the NHL, obviously. You're seeing NFL, NBA, other sports as well. But it's nice to see the Hurricanes doing well consistently. And I obviously mentioned some other teams have now clinched their postseason berths, and we'll talk about that in just a second, guys, after a quick word from today's sponsors. With the postseason gearing up, folks, you may be getting hungry watching these games, marathoning them, and there's only one thing that we trust for that, and it's, of course, Built Bar. Built Bar is the best tasting protein bar ever. They have 18 amazing flavors with new stuff coming in and out of the lineup all the time, and regardless of the flavor, bars are covered in 100% chocolate and are soft and easy to chew. Built Bars are extremely healthy as well. They're great for the health-conscious individual, as they are low calorie, low sugar, high protein, and high fiber. They are also great for keto diets, so Built Bars are a great way to lose or maintain weight while indulging in a delicious treat. And right now, you can go to BuiltBar.com and use promo code LOCKED15, and you'll get 15% off your next order when you use promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off at BuiltBar.com. And folks, with the NHL playoffs just right around the corner, I'm sure you may be wanting to place your bets on these games and who you think is going to rise to the top. And there's only one place that we trust for that here at Locked On, and that is BetOnline.ag. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all of your sports actions. Baseball season is in full swing, and you can track all the action at BetOnline. This week has tons of sports action on the go, as the NFL draft is on, and the Kentucky Derby is back as the first leg of the Triple Crown begins this weekend. I am very excited for that. Also, the NFL draft as well. And right now, you can get all the latest news, odds, and info for all of your sporting needs, including MLB and NBA, NHL, and all of your UFC/MMA action. Before the next pitch, head over to BetOnline on your laptop or mobile device and check out all the great sporting news, sign-up bonuses, and contest information. Don't sit on the sidelines anymore, as this is your chance to get into the game as teams prep for their runs into the playoffs. Head to the website or use your mobile device today to sign up and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit when you use promo code Locked On. That is a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit when you use the promo code Locked On. BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts. Get all the sports news you need in under 20 minutes with the Locked On Today podcast. Host Peter Bukowski updates you on the latest news in every major sport with the help of our local experts. Follow the Locked On Today podcast on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. Now, folks, we've had a lot of other teams punch their tickets to the postseason now to join the Hurricanes in the big dance. We're ready for it. And right now, looking at the Central Division, the Hurricanes are still sitting atop the Central Division. They now sit on top with 33 wins, 10 losses, 7 overtime losses, and 73 total points. Florida has now taken the second spot at a 33-14-5 record with 71 points. So the Hurricanes do have a little bit of a cushion there, whereas they had kind of been 1 point behind the Hurricanes for a bit there, whether it's them or Tampa, but they got a little bit of a cushion now. And then Tampa Bay is now in third place at a 34-14-2 record with 70 points. All three of those teams have clinched their postseason berths. At fourth place, we still have the Nashville Predators. They're at a 27-22-2 record with 56 points. But, of course, Dallas is still right on their tail with a 21-17-12 record and 54 points. I do think Chicago's kind of out of it now. They're 6 points behind Nashville alone. So I don't think they're really going to do anything. I think their chance has kind of fallen by the wayside now. But it's going to be interesting. That Nashville-Dallas game is coming down to the wire, that's for sure. In the East Division, the top two teams have clinched their postseason berths, as Washington and Pittsburgh have now clinched. Washington is sitting atop the East Division still at a 32-13-5 record and 69 points. Pittsburgh is right there with them with a 33-15-3 record and 69 points. New York Islanders are right on their tail at a 30-15-5 record and 65 points. And then Boston is right on their tail with a 29-14-6 record and 64 points. So I think, that's going to be what it's going to be there. Be interesting to see if Boston can overtake the Islanders for that third spot. But ultimately, I think those are going to be the four teams we see there, because kind of like the Blackhawks, I think the New York Rangers are kind of out of it now. So they're there with 58 points. The Flyers were officially eliminated from the playoffs yesterday. So it's kind of sucks to see them, the way they've fallen off this season. They had a heck of a run last year, but they have really fallen off a cliff this year. In the North Division, only the Toronto Maple Leafs have clinched. They are at a 32-13-5 record and 69 points. Edmonton is still in second with a 29-17-2 record and 60 points. Winnipeg is now in third with a 27-19-3 record and 57 points. Montreal is still in fourth place at a 21-18-9 record and 51 points. Calgary is somewhat close behind them at 47 points, but it's going to be Montreal there, I believe. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. The Toronto Maple Leafs in their kind of first round curse. It'll be interesting to see what Montreal can do there. In the West Division, there's another heated race for the fourth seed there. Vegas, Colorado, Minnesota obviously have all clinched. Vegas is sitting atop that division with 72 points. Colorado with 66. Minnesota also with 66 points. But the St. Louis Blues have now put a little bit of space between them and the Arizona Coyotes. St. Louis is now still in fourth place at a 23-19-6 record and 52 points. Arizona is again, has fallen back a little bit. They're now at a 21, 24, and 5 record and 47 points. They have 2 games left to play, so they're really going to need to win out, and they're going to need St. Louis to lose as well. But yeah, that's going to be a tough one. That is for sure. But it kind of sucks to see Arizona. They're fighting till the end, but they have definitely been having some issues as of late. The thing is probably going to be St. Louis there. But we'll wait and see. We won't know until all the regular season games are concluded, or until they're mathematically eliminated. But yeah, that's where everything stands right now as far as the divisions. The Hurricanes are obviously still sitting atop the NHL as of right now. Vegas is right on their heels at 72 points. Florida is right there as well at 71, and then Tampa at 70, and Toronto at 69 points. So we're getting down to the wire, folks. It'll be interesting to see when teams start clinching their divisions. No one has clinched the division as of yet. I really think a lot of these teams, it's going to be the last couple games. Like the Central Division is definitely going to be like one of those where it's the last couple games where we see someone clinch the division. Same with the East and the West as well. Well, maybe not necessarily the West. I think we'll definitely see Toronto probably be the first one to clinch the division, probably followed by Vegas. And then I think, the East and the Central are going to be the last two where we see someone end up with a Y beside their team name rather than an X. But yeah, that does it for today's episode. Folks, let me know who you think is going to be the first team to clinch the division. I think, Toronto is going to be the first to clinch a division. But, that's just me. Tell me what you think. Tweet it at me at LO_Hurricanes. Comment on Facebook, at Locked On Hurricanes Podcast. Or send it to my personal Twitter at JaredEllis_96. And there's, of course, Locker Room as well, where I'll be going live next week. You can follow me on there also at JaredEllis_96, folks. And that does it for today's episode. And I will talk to you guys later. Peace.